Hey guys, it's me, Ola, and this is another Q&A. I'll try to do them on a regular basis from now on. I know I tried it before, but it didn't really work out. But yeah, let's dive right in. So I asked you guys on Twitter to ask me some questions with the hashtag AskOla. So those questions could have been about the key one, but it really was an open Q&A. So let's start with the first question, shall we? And the first question is from Dr. Charan, and he asks, for how many days can we use the Blackberry Passport? Like I always say in my comments when I get comments asking exactly that, it depends on your usage. The Blackberry Passport still is a great phone, it has great performance, it's a great productivity tool, but it does suffer from Blackberry 10 because more and more apps are not supported anymore. But if you don't use those apps, you could use the Blackberry Passport for years and years to come. And for me at least, the most apps I use, actually all apps except Snapchat, work great on the Blackberry Passport, and I could have used it for about 1 or 2 years, or at least as long as those apps work. So I guess if the Blackberry Passport still works for you, then continue using it. So let's continue with the second question, and it's from Thomas Soares, hope I pronounced it right, and he asks, I want to buy a cheaper Blackberry phone. Do I go for one of the D-Tech phones or should I wait for Blackberry's new phones? Well, I'd say go for the Blackberry D-Tech phones. They're great phones, they're pretty affordable, they dropped in price even further, so they're really a bargain to get for the amount of phone and quality and specs you get. Of course, you could always wait for future phones by Blackberry, but it doesn't seem like there's anything revolutionary coming from Blackberry now. At least there aren't any proper leaks. But yeah, you could wait your whole life for a phone. I'd say go for a D-Tech phone. They're great phones. They're really affordable and cheap to get, and they're great phones. I've used the Blackberry D-Tech 50 and the D-Tech 60. I can really recommend the D-Tech 60 because it has the fingerprint sensor and it makes it really convenient to use the phone. Also, the build quality in those phones is amazing. So yeah, that at least is my opinion. Let's continue with this third question. So the third question is from Todd M. Walker, and he asks, if Blackberry Limited is strictly a software company now, why is it silly to think they might create a new Blackberry OS? I think that's a great question, and I think they could do it, but I have to say, I don't think they will. They pushed so much money into Blackberry 10, and it just didn't work out. They didn't attract any developers, they didn't really create that good marketing for the OS, their phones didn't do well, and it just was a big failure in a company point of view. So it really doesn't make sense for them to create another Blackberry OS. They do most of their profit from enterprise solutions, and I think going with Android for Blackberry phones, I think that really marks the death for Blackberry OS phones or a Blackberry OS, because it's just a bigger OS, it's cheaper for them because they don't have to do that much marketing for a new OS that is a different and completely new UI and gesture control. They don't need developers that they need to pay maybe to create apps for their OS, and I guess that's just a better solution for a company like Blackberry. And I think if they concentrate on Android, like developing more Android phones like the Blackberry Key 1, maybe make the OS similar to Blackberry 10 or just a bit more fluid and maybe more individual than other Android operating systems, I think they could do very, very well with Android. And Android is a great OS actually. Yeah, some of you say that it's very slow, and I kind of agree with you. Sometimes it's very bloated, sometimes it can be very slow, and I don't think that it's just as nice as Blackberry 10 with the hub, with the gestures. But in general, it's a great OS. You have the apps, you have the user base, you have the great support. And I think that makes Blackberry stay with the Android OS and not going the Blackberry OS route, which is kind of sad, but it just makes sense from a business point of view. Of course, I would love to see another Blackberry OS like Blackberry OS 11. That would be great, but I just think it's not very likely. And question number 4 is again from Thomas Soares. He asked some great questions, and he asks, besides being a business-focused phone, can the Blackberry Key 1, which I have right here, be a media consumption phone? Of course, because of the 3:2 aspect ratio and the not 4K AMOLED display, just an IPS display with a full HD resolution, It doesn't really make sense as a media consumption device, but I can tell you that I don't have any problems at all consuming media with this phone. I use Instagram regularly, I watch YouTube all the time, I use Twitter, I use all social media apps without a problem on this phone. They're fast, the screen size, if you adapt to it maybe after a week, is totally fine. You can easily scroll with the physical keyboard through Instagram, and it just makes it a breeze to use for social media. And I think if you are a social media editor or marketer, maybe for a company, I think the BlackBerry Key 1 makes great sense because you can easily type out those tweets, you can easily type longer messages for your blog, for your Instagram posts, or whatever for Facebook, who knows. And you have the great camera to post images to Instagram, and what else? Of course, it's not as great as maybe a Samsung Galaxy S8 because it has a much bigger screen, it has the better resolution, it's of course better for watching videos. But I think the BlackBerry Key 1 is a productivity focused phone, and in my opinion, there's no letdown in social media usability at all. But that's just my opinion. Maybe you're bothered by the black bars you get while watching videos, but I guess you just have to try it. Maybe go to a store, try the Key 1 and see for yourself. But for me at least, no problem at all. And the last question, which is also question number 5, is by Samar. And he asks, which is better, the Key 1 or the Google Pixel? Which one should you buy if you're coming from the BlackBerry Passport? So if you really like the BlackBerry Passport and you're coming from a BlackBerry Passport, I'd say go with the BlackBerry Key 1. You have the physical keyboard, which is very similar to the one that is on the BlackBerry Passport. It does have the touch sensitivity, it has the same clickiness, a similar clickiness. Of course it's not matte, it's glossy, but I think the physical keyboard is one point why you should go with the BlackBerry Key 1. Another thing is the build quality. It's also very similar to the BlackBerry Passport. It does not have a steel frame, but it does look very similar and it feels similar, and I think it just makes better sense. The Google Pixel is a totally different phone. It's a full touch display. It's a slap phone, I think you say that, an all touch device, and it's just totally different from the BlackBerry Passport. Of course, the BlackBerry Key 1 is also very much different, but it just keeps that BlackBerry design language and the physical keyboard. So I would choose the BlackBerry Key 1 if I was coming from a BlackBerry Passport, which I actually am. So yeah, hope I answered your question with that one. If you like this video, make sure you like the video. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below. Maybe you want to answer some questions yourself that I had in this video. Also make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to stay updated with the newest videos. Make sure to follow me on my social media channels, Instagram and Twitter, and my BlackBerry Messenger channel pin is in the description box below. See you in my next video. Until then, bye.